Happy Tuesday evening. This is Tuesday Mom Talk or Tuesday Mom Talk, or I don't know what the name it is. I can never come up with a good name for what this is. But whatever it is, it's Tuesday Mom Talk. And tonight we are, let me fix my hair. You know how, have to fix your hair. But anyway, tonight we're talking about how do you homeschool when you have littles too. And I am obviously the mom to talk to about this because I have five and I have had, we homeschooled since the beginning, but I'll tell you that in a minute. Anyway, let me do our announcements first. This Thursday, we have, let me pull up the name because you know me, I always get the name completely messed up and I will go backwards or forwards over something. But let's see. This Thursday, we have homeschooling students with anxiety disorders. This is a replay. It is fabulous. And I've had a lot of different mamas talking. I have, locally, I consult with a lot of moms locally, and we've had a lot of kids coming out with anxiety from COVID, from different things. It's just, this is one of the main reasons moms will start homeschooling, will be anxiety or bullying during the year. As y'all know, locally I consult, nationwide I consult. I work with a lot of parents, walking them through the process of pulling their kids out and working on getting diagnosis and making a plan. And during the school year, the two reasons that people usually pull, the two main reasons will be bullying or anxiety. So this Thursday we will do um, homeschooling students with anxiety disorder. This is a big one. It's one of our replays. We try to do maybe one where we take one of our older workshops and replay it. It'll come out. It'll be on Thursday. It is absolutely fabulous. Tons and tons of information on helping your student if you're dealing with anxiety disorder, if you're homeschooling because of that anxiety disorder. If you have anxiety disorder, it is a good one for you, mama. We do have one student that has anxiety and we work with her a lot. So, but anyway, that's my announcement. Tonight we're going to talk. This is our Tuesday Mom Talk. We're going to talk about homeschooling when you have littles. Now, this could be two things. You could have just a bunch of littles, which was me, and you can homeschool older kids and have a little. And it can be disruptive. It's hard. It is a hard season. But we're going to talk about that tonight. And let me know if you have questions, if you have littles, post in the comments. I will see it and we can have it. We can talk. So, but okay. I said that one time. I said, I can see you, that I see you watching. I don't actually see you. Your camera is not working. Wouldn't even know how to turn that on. I don't actually see you. What I have is over here in the corner. Let's see if I can point. Let's see, up over here in the corner, like up for me, it's like about right there. There is a little eyeball picture and it shows me that 4 people are watching right now. So it's like my numbers are starting to go up. It takes a few minutes for Facebook to send out a notification and people can see. So anyway, so I know that we have some people watching us, like not zero or anything. So anyway, so send me a note and let me know who's watching. You can put a comment in the box. And anyway, but anyway, so we're going to talk about homeschooling littles. So let me go find my banners, guys. So I try to keep this really short so that I'm not like dragging out your whole night. But the first thing you've got to realize when you're homeschooling with littles is that you're dealing with one season in time. I promise it does not stay this chaotic. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Devin, Homeschool House Calls. I am your admin, and we are actually streaming into 3 groups tonight. We have How Do I Homeschool, the Homeschool Mom Self Care Plan, and Homeschooling and the Working Mom. So we have 3, and they're all, they're all about, they're about equal size. Different ones are, well, homeschooling and the working mom is a newer one. It's about 200 people, but the other 2 are about, about similar size. So we have a lot of mamas. And the one thing I want you to realize is this is a one season. When you're in the middle of raising littles, it can feel like it is non-ending. I'm Devin. I have five. My first four were like stair steps. They're all about 2 years apart, and they were all together, and it was mass chaos when I was homeschooling. We've always homeschooled, so it was like mass chaos. I was the Energizer Bunny who was not did not have the energy of the Energizer Bunny. I would have them around the kitchen table, and I was going around in circles all day long. So I would have it started off with one, Cole, he's my oldest. I started homeschooling him at 2. I was I was I decided I was only homeschooling for preschool, and by the time he hit kindergarten, I had one more and one on the way, and I was in love with homeschooling, and we never looked back. So it is just, I mean, I'm really, it is one season at a time. It does not last forever. I realize it looks and feels like it stretches on forever. So don't shoot me for anything I tell you to do. Just know that it comes from experience. Anything they miss within reason comes back around. So the first thing you got to do is realize this is one season at a time. It will not last. You blink your eyes and they're 20. My oldest that I started homeschooling with is 20. My second is 18. Then I have 15, 13, and 6. I have my big surprise. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been where I've had lots of littles and I was homeschooling, and I've been where I've had older and one little trying to homeschool. And I promise nothing stays the same. So take a deep breath, relax. It's okay. The two things that you absolutely must teach is math and phonics, language arts. It switches to language arts after they learn how to read. If you do those two things well, science and history comes back around in cycles. So it's like when my first four were all together and they were little, and I had also had several miscarriages. I had several pregnancies where I was on bed rest and I was teaching from the couch, teaching from the bed. One time I was basically teaching from the bed. The things they miss come back around when they hit especially when they hit middle school, high school. So if you're that mom that you have a lot of littles, give yourself grace. Those things will come back around. But now that doesn't mean you don't have a plan, and that doesn't mean you're not trying. But you cover your math and your phonics every day, or math or language arts, you are got a strong start, because you can give yourself grace that this little season of time is not going to last forever. So, second thing, give yourself grace. I'm always telling mamas that you have got to give yourself grace. You're learn just remember when you brought that baby home, you didn't know everything you had to learn. It's the same thing with homeschooling. You have to give yourself grace and take a deep breath. With littles, it's busy, busy, busy chaos, running the roads. It's busy. There's doctor's appointment. Just think, up until 2 years old, you're like every few weeks it feels like you're at the doctor's office. You've got to have plan A, which is when you're at home. You have plan B for when things go bad at home, and then you have plan C for the car. We'll call it C for the car. Plan C for being out at the doctor's office. So you have kind of mental plans, and then you're not losing ground, and you feel like you're going forward. So always give yourself grace. Always realize there's a season. When you plan for everybody, even that newborn. You are always planning for everybody. Now, if you have questions, drop them in the thing, because if I say something you want to know more, I don't know you want to know more, because I'm not a mind reader. These are the things I did. And this is all I got with my steps today. That's the kind of, I have teenagers are still busy. It's just a different kind of busy. But, um, but you plan for everybody, even baby. Now, I always had a plan for everybody. Um, keep your high chair. If you have a high chair, keep it longer than what you think, as long as they can comfortably, safely fit into it. Because that high chair can become your best friend when you're teaching multiple kids. I always had things for the baby to do in the high chair. So they were sitting at the table working, the baby was captured, buckled in, safe in the high chair. Um, I always had for the baby, I always had plans in place. I had school toys that we only played with during school. I always bought really nice supplies so that I felt like I was giving her crayons that were nice. They were like made out of beeswax. If she took a bite out of it, it's like I wasn't going to freak out. I was always freaked out about anything toxic because, the bubble soap said that it was non toxic, but what they don't tell you is if your baby drinks it, they're going to puke it everywhere. Okay. That's what I've learned that. Me and poison control had a very good relationship with Olivia. Olivia's my 13-year-old. I had several calls for poison control with her, and it was never the usual things you would think of. It would be the berries in the yard or the bubble soap. And they were always so nice to me. They would call me back and make sure we were okay. So, are y'all okay, Miss Vasco? I know you were crying really bad earlier. Everything's fine. Your baby's not going to die. It's okay. So anyway, yeah, that was Olivia. She was interesting. She was also the one that learned how to pick locks and climb onto minivans, and that's how we discovered that she could pick locks was because we found her on the minivan when someone called the police. So yeah, that was my house. So I have stories, but she might not like that I tell them. But plan for everybody. See, I'm coming back around. Plan for everybody, even the newborn. Another thing that mama's always taught me was teach them to play by themselves. You can get a play yard, and you can, as they get now, it's not that you're not meeting their needs. It's like as you're able to communicate and they're able to begin to communicate, you can begin to teach them that they have to play by themselves, and that's okay. It's good to entertain yourself. It's good to learn not to be bored. A friend of mine would use the play yard, and she would start at 1 minute, and she had like I have a little chicken timer. Like you turn it on and say, "Okay, 1 minute, Mom will be back. Don't call me right now. 1 minute," and then you would go up to 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and then 4 minutes, and then you move it up so that they begin to play. And when the buzzer came off, then they could call mom. And it's not that they were in a different room, they were just learning to entertain themselves. And it's hard to learn to entertain. I mean, as an adult, I'm not always able to entertain myself. I want somebody to talk to. I like to talk. That's why I'm talking to you. So another thing, I'll pull this up. Quiet boxes. I'm gonna get rid of this banner there. I'm gonna share this. See if I can pull this up. Give me just a minute. It takes a few seconds to pull this up and turn on the share. But quiet boxes or something. You can play in school as they get older. If they start, having good quality craft supplies. I would have screen share. I would have things like a sewing box, an art box, a block box. I would use those fish tackle box. They used to be really cheap. They're not anymore. Let's see. What are they called? Quiet boxes. Let's see if they come up. Quiet time boxes. So this is an idea, and you can use it. You can put all sorts of stuff. Let me see if I can roll down. This is just one of many. Like here, you can see how they look where they're quiet. This isn't for quiet time, but you could do it for school. And if you do it for school, I would do it like for not even put days on there, but you could put like 1, 2, 3, 4, and just like you just completely. What I would do when I had one in the, I would sit them in the high chair, and I would pull. I had small boxes. I would pull one at a time, and just every time they got bored. Let me get rid of that little thing right there. That's kind of crazy. They're gonna teach us some things. So every time they got bored with one box, like it would. This one says Monday too. That's for quiet time, but this is the example I'm talking about. I would have different ones for different subjects. There'd be an art one. There'd be a block box. There would be a Lego box. I mean, not little Legos, but the bigger ones. And I would have them in boxes. And as they got bored, which with littles, it could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes. And then they were inside. They were inside the high chair, so they're kind of contained, and I would clean it up real quick and switch them out. And so that's what they did continually. Now, remember, you have to be realistic. When you're homeschooling multiple littles, you have to remember that school should not take all day. This is one place where I think a lot of times mamas will get caught. you're trying to recreate school at home, and it does not work that way. Lisi is 6. It is an unusually long day for us to do an hour of sit down work. That is a longer day, and that means that she has chased rabbits and she's done other things. That is all the sit down work of actual work that she and I do. We've done math for about 20 minutes, we've done phonics for about 20 minutes. And at that point, we're pretty much done and we've moved into a craft. Now, does that mean she goes and she sits in front of the TV afterwards? No. After that, we're doing something I call creative play. We're doing art. Right now she's very much into drawing. That is her thing right now. She likes coloring books. She's very into crafts right now. About 2 months ago, she was a little bit into science, so we might pull up a science video. There's a certain ones on you. She has her own iPad where there are only kid apps. I do not ever recommend that you just let children randomly watch apps because they are much smarter than I am and they can go other places. But being observed, she can play her iPad. She only has certain apps. So we were into science about 2 months ago, and so we would do science. And then luckily, she has older siblings who will do a science experiment with her. I am not a big science person. I did not do it when my other ones were little because I was dealing with pregnancies and bed rest. I mean, because we have 5 kids, and then I had several losses, so that was not something I could do. Um, if you're in that situation, Magic School Bus, there are science videos, documentaries, those things can round out what you're doing. So you can always go back to that to round out what you want the kids to learn. You can find there's some really great apps now. I mean, when my first 4 were little, there were not tablets were not really a thing yet. You would have I had a desktop. They did not really I think Olivia's 13. She's probably the first one that actually did any apps at all, and there wasn't much. Lisi is a very different world. It's a very, very different world. That's why we've got on the YouTube channel, we have Outsourcing Education for Littles that talks about several different apps that I have used for learning. I've actually discovered some kind of new ones, and so I'm probably going to update that one pretty soon. So there are things that you can do to round out because if you've got only one little and you've only spent an hour, then you have creative play in the afternoon and you want to teach them to be independent. You don't want them to have to need you to learn all day long. You want them to explore and you want their brains to grow, but they can't do that if you don't provide things. So I had an art box that had it was arts and crafts with when they were little, it was like construction paper was in there, stickers, the bigger googly eyes. Watch the bigger googly eyes because I had one last week and the it was split and the Google, I mean that's a choking hazard. Watch those, but you don't have to have those in there. Lisi's 6. Although I had a kid that we knew that swallowed a guitar pick when he was a teenager. So you would think they would be trustworthy, but watch those things. You can keep them. And then I just pulled them out. They were all tackle boxes. That's when tackle boxes were kind of cheap. And they were really cheap level at Walmart. And I would have the arts and crafts in one. So it contained the nest. I could close it up, put it in the cabinet. Another one was Legos. Another one was what else did we have? We had a dress up box. Right now, after Halloween, you can get lots of costumes for 50% off. And if you wait a couple more days, it's going to be 75. I would buy 2 or 3 every year for much cheaper than what if you got it before Halloween. So you could pick up some costumes to add to your dress up box. I'd pick up like Gabriella absolutely loved this horse one. It was pink horse. And I got it for a steal because it was after Halloween and she loved it, wore it everywhere. She was like a cowgirl. But so you can get some higher quality dress up stuff for cheaper. So we had a dress up box to go along with our books. We always went to the library and got big stacks of books. And they're awesome. The libraries are awesome with crafts right now. You can get some free crafts, stuff you can do at home in the afternoons for your creative play because you want lots and lots of creative play. And then you can pick out the really good programs that can reinforce what you're teaching and pick out the good app, the good stuff with apps that reinforce. So, I mean, you're planning for that good, strong hour in the morning with math and phonics, especially when they're little, and then moving on to creative play. Now, what do you do when you have the big kids you need to teach and you have a little one? Because I've had that issue too. And you still have to do a lot of what I've already said and plan for that little. You plan for every kid in your house, even if they're not in school yet, because you've got to have a plan, or then you just drown and they come up with a plan. Um, you have to give yourself grace with that too, because when you have big kids and you have a little, sometimes you have to go around the little's needs. Usually, I would start with the littlest. We have a, you meet their needs first. If you can meet their needs and they're calm, then you can turn around. Nap times are your friend when you're in this situation. When they start dropping naps, you may have a couple of a couple of rough years. Most of my nap, they would get rid of their nap early and drop it at 2, and it was just a nightmare. It would break my heart every time because I missed that nap time. But I'm telling you, your plan A, hit your math, hit your phonics in the morning early when everybody's fresh, even if you're not fresh. But usually that was the best time for us to hit that and get that out of the way. But as long as you get those done and you get those strong, then you're doing good. Those are your first two things. Then um, science and history you can do in the afternoons during nap when there's a nap time. You don't have to do them every day. High school, you usually have to. But before high school, like with your big kids, usually you can do science one day, history one day, and just kind of flip them. Um, but really, just know that you are. It's this is not going. This season it will not last forever. Enjoy your time together. Find ways to laugh because I'm telling you, before you know it, you blink your eyes and your oldest is 20 and your baby's 6, and then you go, oh my gosh, we didn't do the fun stuff I wanted to do. Okay, there was some traveling I wanted to do, and I always waited, and it doesn't happen. Time doesn't wait. So anyway, let me know what questions you've got. I know you're watching. Oh, I don't see you. Okay, I'm always tired. I'm always afraid to say that now, because because I don't actually see you. I just know you're watching this, and it's like right. Let's see. Let's see if I can do it about right here. There's a little eyeball that shows me that 6 people are watching right now. So anyway, that is our subject for tonight. We were talking about homeschooling when you have lots of littles or when you have littles. It is hard and it is a hard season, but it's a lot of fun. Give yourself grace. Remember that it only lasts a little while and plan for everybody. Let me know what you want to talk about next week. We'll come back. Let's see. We can come up with just about anything. This one came out of a conversation I had with a mom last week. And so let me know what you want to talk about. Every Tuesday, we will have some kind of hands on, this is how I handle it talk with points, um, possibly handouts if I ever get that good. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not. You don't want to say hello? My 6-year old, she's just walking through. She's awfully cute. She's worth it. They're worth it. It's a lot of fun. I miss my days of having multiple littles running around. It goes faster than what you think. And now I have the teenagers running around, having work schedules and school schedules, and they manage things. They're amazing. But I will see you next Tuesday. Remember, Thursday we have homeschooling students with anxiety disorders, and it is a fabulous workshop. I know if you didn't see it when it came through last time, you will very much enjoy it. We're starting to plan. the Christmas time, Christmas holiday workshops. It's going to be a really, really fun December. You don't want to miss it. But let me know what you want to talk about next week. I will see y'all soon. Night, guys.